Alrighty guys, so today I'm here with a very special guest, Mr. Marvin. Marvin, how you doing today?
Good, how are you?
Fantastic. And so, being here in the film festival, I'm assuming you're a filmmaker, you have a film entered. What is it called?
I'm promoting an 8-minute short film called Parking Spot. It's an action comedy.
Oh, action comedy.
Action comedies. So it's guaranteed to keep you off your seat and keep you laughing.
Absolutely. And can you give us a brief summary of the film?
Sure. So we've all experienced a day when we've had road rage or somebody's had road rage against us, and so this film plays on that. So there's a guy, a protagonist and an antagonist, and they are both going to the opera.
Okay.
And so she's pulling into her spot, and then this guy takes her parking spot, and then the battle ensues. And so it's mired in martial arts.
Okay.
So they wind up getting into a kung fu fight in their formal dresses and tuxedos.
That sounds amazing.
And it's a battle to the end.
So harken back to old kung fu films.
Right.
Do you guys have the bad lip dubbing, or is it just all in English?
Yeah, it's dubbed.
Oh.
In Chinese, because we have Chinese actors. So one of our actors, Alfred, was in Deadpool, and he was in Everything Everywhere All at Once. So they're experienced martial arts and action people. And so we just taught them lines of dialogue. So they're actually stunt performers.
Oh, okay. Wow. And what inspired you to make a film like this?
Well, the subject matter, I mean, we've all experienced road rage. It's something we can identify with. So, as a more seasoned filmmaker, I'd call myself. I wouldn't say I'm a veteran, because I graduated from film school in 2011, but I do basically 3 films a year, and they're short films. And of course, for my feature films that I've done, they're more protracted over a couple of years.
Absolutely.
So I interweave those. That's where the thing came from. It's like, I'm making films for the audience instead of making them for myself now. So I make it for subject matter that people are going to be entertained with, because we all watch films and TV for various reasons. We want to be entertained, we want to escape, we want to get caught up in news, we want to laugh, we want to cry. Whatever your emotional system is why we create the film, and I do it for a variety of things. So the arc of my career has delved on many different topics, from Down syndromes to working with the hearing impaired, to just downright comedy, to racial issues, to venturing in action, sci-fi, fantasy.
Absolutely. And you call yourself a seasoned filmmaker at this point.
Yeah.
So this is obviously not your first festival, correct?
Yeah, no, I've got at least 40 films under my belt. So, like I said, I graduated from USC.
Okay.
So I'm a Trojan, and I graduated in 2011. So I came to filmmaking later in life, so I was able to just jump right in and start making films. So, I'm a recovering legal professional, as I call myself, and I have a background in marketing and advertising. So I know how to take those aspects of the film that most filmmakers don't have a grasp on, and then bring that to film.
Man, you're ahead of the game.
Yeah, so most entry-level filmmakers, I'll call them entry-level, you have a script and you're trying to figure out how to get your project together and bring it to the screen. Whereas now that I passed that arc, I'm looking at the branding aspects, the commerciality aspects, how to get eyeballs on the film, and to work from the brand, and then the script is based on how I'm going to put the product to market.
Absolutely. So, given your specialties, your background, what advice can you give first-time filmmakers or people are on the fence about submitting their film into a festival?
The big hinders, I think, for everybody are money. If you don't know how to fundraise, then you're going to be at a detriment, and you're going to be begging for resources. And, filmmaking is a team sport. So don't think that you have to hold everything and do everything yourself, because there's very few projects that are successful that are out there that are done by themselves.
Right.
So at this point, the Robert, who was the director of the film, he worked with me 7 years ago, and he's my sound engineer.
Oh, wow.
So he's a sound mixer, and he had a concept for the film, and then he brought it to me. He goes, I would like to try something. I said, well, let's produce this project and make it happen. And then as I told him, he had his film finished, I said, this is a really good film. And then he wanted to go to the festival because he'd never gone to festivals. And so, my being a more seasoned festival filmmaker, I was like, okay, we're not going to do the spray and pray approach where you just apply and spend, the hundreds, if not thousands of dollars applying to film festivals that you're never going to get in. There's a method and a process to selecting the film festival, and you have to do your research. Just like you're doing a research on a character or a part or a concept for your film, you have to put the time in. And so with my having the experience of film festivals, I was like, I don't want to just go to film festivals. I don't want to just get into film festivals, but I want to win film festivals. We took that approach and narrowed back and scaled back his approach, and then we applied to specific festivals that we felt were right for the film. So we didn't shoot high and say we're going for Sundance or we're going for Cannes or we're going
Tribeca or
yeah, you know, you're never going to, I mean, there's probably 9,000, 10,000 films that are released each year.
Right.
You know, and probably more than that made, and there's probably that many festivals. So, you know, at $50, $75, $100 a submission, you could, if you don't have a budget for that,
right,
you could spend $9,000 just in submissions, and that you won't even get into probably 1% of those. So, looking at that approach and just saying, who do I have a relationship? What festivals have I screened at before? What genre would like comedy or action or drama or sci-fi? Knowing, you know, I'm not going to submit this film to Fantastic Fest,
right,
because it's just not the right fit for Fantastic Fest.
Right.
So, you know, so looking at that, it's like, okay, it's comedy, it's short, it's under 10 minutes. It's easy, consumable. It's not going to clog the program when the programmer is going, I really like your film, but it's 23 minutes long, and I have a slot for 15, so you're out. So just knowing that psychology around that is the main thing. And then the next thing besides budgeting would be the script. You know, making sure your script is absolutely right. One of my first feature films I did was an actor called Michael Gross, and you might know Michael Gross as the father of Alex Keaton from Family Ties.
Oh, wow.
Or Tremors. So, and so I had a really in-depth project, and it was called Our Father, and it was on a topic of Alzheimer's dementia. And so his being a comedy actor and his sister being a former Saturday Night Live cast member, you know, they were steeped in the comedy world and the zingers and the liners. But I had submitted to his manager, Richard, and then the director at the time, Linda, had written the script about her father and the story, and so he connected with the writing and he connected with the story because his grandmother had Alzheimer's, his mother-in-law had Alzheimer's, his grandmother, you know, so he had a physical connection to it. And then, so that was what he goes, Marvin, always follow the writing. Right. You know, it's not about you want to put me in another Tremors 3 or another, you know. He goes, I follow the writing, and this is a brilliant script. And it was something he could sink his teeth in because he had hands-on experience with people with Alzheimer's. Right. And he always teases us to this day. It's like, you know, this is the first time in my 30 or 40 year career that I've ever had to sign a nudity waiver.
Wow.
You know, so we went in, we had a fabulous festival run. We won a lot of awards. And so those are the key things, you know. Good script, and you know how to raise money, you know, or you can be resourceful with funding.
Right, absolutely.
Go.
And so the final thing before we let you go, for those who haven't seen your film or on the fence about it, elevator pitch. Why should they watch it?
Everybody can identify with a bit of road rage. If you want to have a good chuckle and you can invest 8 minutes of your time, it's well worth it. It's well worth it. And like I said, you know, I'm thrilled to be here in Fort Smith. I'm thrilled to be back here in Arkansas. You know, I like this part of the country. My family is from Alabama. I was born in Texas, you know, so I'm used to this environment and the cool people here that I get to spend time with. And Parking Spot's a worthy watch.
Yes, absolutely. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate your time, Marvin.